Hello, and thank you for joining us. I'm Wayne Collins with NetScout Systems. I'm a Chief Solutions Architect, and I've been with NetScout about 21 years. Today, we're going to talk about how we can fit NetScout within the NSX environment. On our screen today, you can see that I've got NSXT, I've got VMware Cloud, and some other things that we've just not noted, but they're inside the NSX, the CRM, and the web front end. So what we're doing is our instrumentation is actually inside the NSX environment. It's doing real-time packet analysis. So through the service insertion methodology created by our friends at NSX, we're able to see all the packets and therefore in real time, do all the key performance indicators and look at the layer 7 things, everything that's going on. So you'll see I'm looking at failure rates right now. So let's look at the cloud and see what their failure rates are. This happens to be up in Amazon, in VMware Cloud and Amazon. So I'm gonna go up there and look at it. And I'm doing a basic triage. Do I need to look at the server? Do I need to look at the network? What's going on? So as I see here, I've got a lot of timeouts going on. My response time kind of bouncing here and there. But if I look at the bottom of the screen, I'll notice that I get a lot of table does not exist. Now that's not anything wrong. It's just they're looking for information that doesn't exist. So let's investigate that just a little bit deeper. So we'll go in here. We're actually pulling up metadata from the instrumentation, again, created in real time. And I'm going to expand this up so that you can see it more fully. And you'll see every single step that they did as they proceeded through their session. Now you're not looking at packets. This is smart metadata that we've created. So I've got a red line here that says this is where that errant table does not exist. And this seems to be fairly repetitive. So the question becomes, what table is it? So I'm going to go to the line above it because we keep everything sequentially. And now you'll be able to see the single packet of what they asked for. Select model, description, price from component Z, order by one. That's the SQL statement. So that's what's causing empty it. So apparently somebody doesn't believe it's empty, or they've got a programming methodology that's just hammering the system, which is taking up resources, which is causing slow response time, but we found it just that quickly. Now I'm going to go back to my dashboard, and you notice we were using these red circles. I can change what that key metric is. So let's go look for somebody who's got slow response time. Well, we're looking good today, but I've got some alarms over here in CRM, so let's go look at those. That's with Oracle. So let's go here and look at our notification center and understand what those alarms are, because we're doing this live in all the time, and we're able to open it up. So I'm going to open them up. You can see that we've got failure going on. So let's pick just one of these. And now what you can see is I've got failure for this service. It has repeatedly exceeded the configuration threshold. Here's your deltas. Here's when it's first detected. Here's the value. And then I get a graphical view of what that looks like. And I can actually click on it and drop right into the appropriate module and go see what's going on. So based on an alarm, my workflow is telling me this is what's going on. My failures, again, I'm counting this table as a failure, and login password failure. So I instantly know at a glance what failures I get. Well, the nice thing about it is this is configurable. I can make that table does not exist be informational as opposed to an error. Same thing for login and password, because you might get too many of those and you don't lose the data. We just simply change it so that in the system, I can go ahead and choose, do I want to look at error codes? Do I want to look at information, or both? So this is a highly configurable method for the system. It makes it most flexible. Now you see some real basic information. I can open that up and change it and get more detail. So not only am I going to do basic latency, but I will do latency by function. Database connect, query, modify, delete. Here's the load. Here's the failure rates, etc., giving you a sense of what's going on. Well, let's say that looks more like a network issue. I'm going to switch that over to TCP analysis. Same data set. So that same instrument is doing all this information, does it for each one of these items, for the application focused, for the TCP focused. And there I can look for things like client zero, showing it would show me that I've got a overburdened system, either client or server side, my response times, etc. And I have many other choices that I can look at. So we can look at the handshakes. We can look at the success ratios, server minimums. Anything we want to, we just simply pick it and go. So let's look at act time and client connect time and server connect time. Add those to my view, and I can save this as my view. So now I can break it down as when the client's connect time, client to server, is 160 milliseconds. Server is running a little higher. So we can actually break that down. So now a triage methodology tells me which side the problem is. And depending on how often we instrument these things, we can see where along the path it was. So the visibility does not get lost. And if you're doing this in a container, we can do this. The same views are visible. It's the same product. It's just configured slightly differently. If it's in NSX, fine. If it's in VM Cloud, it works. We are partnered and certified with VMware, and we're able to do these things. So we, in the notification center, you'll see we have lots of things going on, but we also can do things that change. So we will go to situations and pull that up, and we'll look for the last 7 days. It's good news, nothing changed. Great, we're running stable, clean and ready, as we used to say in the Navy. What that means, what we're looking for there is something that changed its behavior. So I normally had this much data. Now I have more or less. And those are alerts that are set automatically. You don't do anything, it does it for you. So it makes it real nice and easy. So anywhere we go, we can see what's going on. Now let's flip this around and change it to overtime. Now I can see any failed transactions, my response time distribution, all of these different charts can be there, and it's configurable. The nice thing about the dashboard is done by user ID or user group. Any way you wanted to look at it, it's there. Let's say I don't know how to use the system. I've logged in, and here it is. And I'm trying to find a problem. The problem is with my Oracle. So I'm going to type ORA. Oh, it came up. There's my Oracle. There's an Oracle SQL. Let's see if it's there. Nope, didn't have that one. It's because it was in the database, but not active at the time. There's my Oracle. Now you can see where I'm getting it from the vStream. You can see I've got 3 different services built. My clients and communities, my servers, my client sites, my server sites. What do I want to look at? So I can go here, look at it. Oh, there's a server dependency map. Really critical within a virtualized environment. We'll blow it up here so you can see it. So we can see the flow. We can change the metrics at the top and look at things like response time. And the metrics are down here at the bottom of the screen telling you what it is. I can go to the database monitor from here. Same old workflows that we had. One of the other nice key things about it is I can say, okay, look at it yesterday and compare that to today, and it's the same. If they had changed, the old question, what did you change, would show up. It would be ghosted and show you that it's different. So that map hasn't changed. That's a good thing. We can observe these things over long periods of time. I keep looking at the current hour, but you see I can go 7 days, last day, and it can do the same thing on the dashboard. So you can search for anything. You can search for user IDs, IP addresses, subnets, applications, services. You don't have to understand necessarily how the system works. All you have to do is search. Very easy to do. Well, that gives us a 5-minute tour just to show you that we can work in the NSX environment. We were built right in. We integrate with vCenter. It's very easy to deploy us in an NSX environment because it's done through NSX. Thank you for your time.